previously brought up how Orlando, Florida its various resort shuttle networks, plus the city's Lynx bus system, and now Brightline reaching MCO, I think it's time to dig a little deeper for my dreams with SunRail and the Silver Service. I'm Lindsay, and this is H&L Blue Sky. When thinking of Orlando, the Silver Service easily came to mind, and more recently I've been thinking about 4 Silver Services. Start on the Meteor right now, which would continue to Miami with split now South Petersburg now like it did before the Amtrak days, and then they meet back up again in Savannah. That'd be the only difference they would share. Anything else, so one stops in Frederick, one of the other stops in Jesup. Rather than the Palmetto, I would extend the Palmetto to Tampa as a Silver Palm, but keep the Palmetto name and those numbers for service to Chicago. But you can always extend something like back to Orlando, or just have another service that only goes to Orlando. But Tampa would make more sense just to close off the loop and give both segments 2 trains a day. Obviously 4 in the core. And also they did, or now one thing I was saying, New Orleans to Orlando, which is like, that doesn't make any sense at all to me. It made more sense to go back to the Sunset and make it daily operations. But I don't know, whose side are you on? Tell me in the comments below. SunRail Orlando. Brightline is just a single line between Poughkeepsie and the land shared with the Silver Star and Silver Meteor, with all plans to extend beyond to Daytona. There is a spur track north of the land, but I think all the work for a new rider to serve the colleges, Speedway, and Daytona's airport. Brightline doing like a limited express route from MCO or downtown up Daytona anyway on their tracks, which could probably beat it. As for Brightline, they currently exist or is being built, there are 3 branches off a trunk, which is the Central Florida Railroad. Church bit 2, there's little kind of stubs that I was decided against in the end on using. But the other one is a decent, I think, obviously use the MCO track plus the resort track as far as celebration. There's also the Aloma Spur near Sanford Airport, and I would like to have a connection from Longwood there, but at least to start, you could have a Sanford line train go to Sanford, back out through the auto train yard, and then have an electric bus connecting the train to Sanford Airport. That's what makes most sense to me right now, since Sanford is the minor airport and will always be the 4 lines in this network that are proposed. As well as the current line, extended to Lakeland, where we meet the S1 of Tampa. I also did kind of note here is that all the regional rail operators should have a free connection with Amtrak, like a free train to get through to the next stop. Then S2 would serve Sanford Airport. In a 2-line config, my original plan is that either with short turn at Poughkeepsie or follow Brightline to Celebration. In this 4-line config, follow the Silver Star and Silver Meteor to Winter Haven, and then you can have a shuttle to Legoland and Peppa Pig. I think there might be one for my drive. Not sure. That might have been killed by COVID or earlier. S3, the shortest line, would be like the current C5 of the Cercanis Valencia, but due to track layout and not an engine change. We'll go Winter Garden to Lake Pleasant to Poca before reversing onto the core Church Street and using the Stanton Spur to reach MCO. S4 goes from Celebration and north to Lake Pleasant to Travers, but would meet a new peak corridor bus connecting Umatia and Eustis to Sanford and Sanford Airport. And I decided to truncate the line here because I think the bus would feel more local and serving more of those direct areas where I think the trains would feel more like a park and ride, and I don't think the park and ride would really work. Other project corridors include Fairview Resorts, Advent Health, UCF, but more like local Advent Health, and then Tuesday is basically a straight shot. And then like no, that's the only town that's relatively close to the Brightline corridor beyond the airport. Make that a bus, and it goes through Sand Lake Road to Dr. Phillip by Universal. Did say that Universal Links would probably both serve the main resort and convention center stop, but I think only Universal would have a direct link to the front entrance of Epic Universe, or it's possible that it could be walkable, but I don't think it is. Disney will not quite have this luxury. It could be fairly close where they can still build a bridge over to Disney Springs. It could be like it's offsite, but like it's just across the street. SeaWorld, they could keep that BGT shuttle, especially if they get hotels for those parks. Add a good connector to work a la the Disney bubble. Both Universal and links are using a BRT lane between the main resort and Epic Universe. Could be wrong about that, but that's what it looks like. Also, there's a little stub. Currently, the penultimate stop on S3. Lakeland area would probably have one that's shared with Tampa's trains. Looking at Valencia's Cercanías map kind of inspired me a bit with sort of like how I would think more longer term with Brightline, where they can do more like regional express service, like just Tampa Orlando or Orlando Daytona, or I would consider the current span of Brightline right now just Miami West Palm a limited express service like you would have. Posted a poll of Fiesio, so you want to hear more about Valencia or some other cities in the region. Like I have a lot of other PA ones. I also have Zaragoza as well as some stuff out west too. So if you're interested, pick a region that you want. Going through this again, kind of getting a second look of things before recording this is like, although Orlando is known as being a tourist capital of the world, they make it easy to forget there's still industry that exists and they use rail to ship their goods. But yeah, right now I don't know whether it's a spring will bring, but tell me, what do you guys think of this? 2-lane is definitely more realistic, but yeah, that's all I have to say here. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe, and strike the bell.